How is it going, everyone? Here's my WWE Elimination Chamber 2020 pay-per-view review. Of course, the Elimination Chamber aired live on the WWE Network as well as pay-per-view yesterday. And overall, I gotta say, for a pay-per-view where I had super low expectations for, to the point where I didn't even care to watch it live, I thought it was okay to goodish show. I thought it started off really well. I thought the first few matches were really good, and then it kind of just went downhill and kind of took a toll on the rest of the show. So yeah, just because of the poor performance second half of the show had, I can't really say it was a really good show. But like I said, it's between like okay to good to me. It's in between there. So that's my that's pretty much my thoughts on the Elimination Chamber. We did have a kickoff show 1 hour prior to the pay-per-view, which featured the Viking Raiders taking on Curt, Hawkins, and Zack Ryder. Not much to talk about there. The match was decent. It was like 5 minutes, which is very surprising to me because I thought for sure it'd just be a quick squash. But no, they gave Hawkins and Ryder some offense, and like I said, it ended up being a pretty decent match, but nothing really worth going out of your way to see. Of course, Viking Raiders with the victory over Hawkins and Ryder, so not much to talk about on the kickoff show. Then we go to the show, the main pay-per-view, I should say, which opened up with Bryan taking on Gulak in the opening match. What a way to kick off the show here. These two went out there and beat the holy shit out of each other. The welts that these two left on each other, just the kicks to the face. Bryan, a lot of people were talking about, him landing on his neck several times to the point where people were being concerned for him. So yeah, just a lot of physicality. These two were very technical too. Very great physical, mat wrestling based match. It was great stuff. I loved it. Thought it was awesome. Thought it was great stuff. Some great spots, with them having each other in the heel hook and just stomping each other's face and then kind of get the other to get off of it. When Bryan went to suplex Gulak, they both went over the ropes and pretty much ate shit. Bryan took some crazy bumps, man. Gulak gave him a suplex, and Bryan kneed himself in the face. That's how hard he landed, which was absolutely awesome. And then right after, Gulak gives him a reverse suplex off the top, and the way they land, Bryan doesn't even bounce off the mat. He hits the mat, and he just stays flat. He doesn't even bounce off it or anything, which made it look 10 times even worse. The impact, like it made it look like more painful, I should say, not like worse, like it made it look bad, but just the impact looked really bad. Him not bouncing off the mat. So that was great stuff there. And then Gulak was just really laying it in. Bryan gave a lot to Gulak. Gulak came out like a legitimate threat to Bryan, and Bryan sold greatly for him. Especially when Gulak was kind of outsmarting and out countering Bryan at the beginning of the match as well. Just a really good opening match. Bryan was able to counter the Dragon Sleeper into the label lock to get the victory, and Gulak doesn't even submit. He just passes out. The referee calls it off, and the match is over. So I thought it was a great way for Gulak to lose, but not really look bad because he didn't tap. He just passed out. So excellent opener. Really enjoyed it. Bryan, like I said, got the victory over Gulak. Took some nasty bumps, and definitely was a great way to open the show. From there, I'm going to the United States Championship match. Andrade defending against Humberto Carrillo. Right from the get-go, Andrade goes for the running elbow, and I legitimately thought he knocked out Carrillo right away, but it was a near fall. These two had a really fun match. I feel like these two have had thousands of matches over the last few months to the point where I'm really sick of seeing it, but I will say I think this match has probably been their best one they've had. I thought they had some great callbacks to their previous matches, able to outsmart each other because they've, learned from their past mistakes. Carrillo did, of course, a spot where he jumped over the referee onto the outside to take out Andrade. Andrade tried to recreate the spot where he gave him the DDT onto the ground, onto the cement, I should say, once he took off the padding. Tried to go for that, but, Carrillo was able to fight back. Carrillo fought back from a 9 count, which just came off very close. Carrillo ended up hitting an awesome Hurricane off the top rope to Andrade, which came off beautifully, and the crowd woke up and started chanting, "This is awesome" for that spot, because, all you gotta do is a high-flying spot these days to get people to chant, "This is awesome." So, but the match was really fun, nothing to take away from it. And then, of course, the end was kind of a bunch of different exchanges, different counters. Carrillo tried to roll up Andrade, but Andrade rolled him up and then held the tights and pinned him that way. So Andrade walks out the match, still the United States champion. Like I said, really good match, really fun. And like I said, probably the best one they've had. And then we go to which I thought was the match of the night, the Elimination Chamber match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Of course, the New Day and the Usos started this match off. Great, not callback. I guess it kind of is a callback to their 2017 feud. As soon as they had that stare down, everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Remembering those tag matches they had in 2017. So it was great to have them start the match. Lucha House Party came in next, followed by Miz and Morrison, followed by Heavy Machinery, and Dolph Ziggler and Roode, of course, came out last. This match was awesome. This was a lot of fun. I think Lucha House Party and Heavy Machinery definitely came off like stars in this match. I think they got the biggest reactions out of everybody with the crazy stuff they were doing. I mean, fucking Lince Dorado did a shooting star press off the ceiling. Like, I mean, not off the ceiling, but like he held on the chain and swung himself into a shooting star press. Like, how fucking crazy is that? Just a bunch of madness spots. You know, everyone's just absolutely doing these crazy spots. You know, a lot of people, everyone's going up on top of the pods and just throwing each other off of them. Just a bunch of craziness. Fucking Tucker did a swanton into a group of people off the fucking pod. Crazy shit. Crazy, crazy, crazy shit. Dorado, man, he did a fucking moonsault, or yeah, moonsault off the bottom rope. Who the fuck does that? Very, very impressive. I can't get over how good Lucha House Party as well as Heavy Machinery looked in this Elimination Chamber match. They were definitely the MVPs if you ask me. Fucking Otis, man, he was getting the crowd running, and you know, he finally had that moment with Dolph Ziggler, and he took that spot where he went to pretty much kill Ziggler in the corner, but Ziggler got out of the way, and Otis went flying through the chamber pod. You know, he broke through it because he hit it so hard, and that pretty much was the reason why Heavy Machinery got taken out afterwards. But yeah, I can't put over enough how good those two look. Lucha House probably got eliminated first once Heavy Machinery hit the trash compactor onto him. Heavy Machinery was next once, you know, obviously Otis was taken out. Tucker was on his own. Roode and Ziggler took advantage of that. Roode hit the glorious DDT to pin Tucker to eliminate him. Roode and Dolph Ziggler was taken out by New Day. New Day hit their finishers on him. You know, Biggie the big ending. Kofi hit Trouble in Paradise, and the Usos hit, you know, in stereo splashes onto Roode and Ziggler to eliminate them. So New Day, Usos, Miz, and Morrison were the final three teams. Miz and Morrison looked really good as well in this match. They definitely were showcasing some old tag team tactics, and just, I don't know, something about seeing about Miz and Morrison team again just makes me happy. You know, brings me back to the, you know, the times where I started watching wrestling again. So yeah, it was awesome to see them tag team. New Day got eliminated next. Miz and Morrison, you know, Kofi went for a huge crossbody, but ate shit off the pod, and then Miz and Morrison just kind of rolled them up. Not rolled them up, they kind of just like jumped on top of him and covered him that way. And then Usos and Miz and Morrison had a really fun exchange towards the end. You know, they were going back and forth, some great near falls. You know, Usos hit double frog splashes where I thought they were going to win, but you know, Miz and Morrison kicked out of them. Just a great ending sequence, and the finish was absolutely awesome as well. Morrison hit him with a jackknife pin, and then Miz like kind of cradled behind Morrison, or behind the Uso that was getting pinned, and put his feet on the rope. So it was kind of a double pin, but it came off greatly, and I thought it was a fantastic finish. And Miz and Morrison ended up walking out still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So yeah, great Elimination Chamber match. I will say though, you know, once the Lucha House Party and Heavy Machinery got eliminated, the match kind of died down. I'm not saying it went bad, but like it wasn't as exciting as it was when those two tag teams were in it. So it kind of sucked that the match kind of went down a little bit once they got eliminated, but it was still a great match, still a lot of fun. Like I said, definitely match of the night. From there, we go to the no disqualification match between AJ Styles and Aleister Black. This was a fine match, and the psychology was really good. I like the story they were telling. You know, they're both kicking shit out of each other's legs. You know, Aleister Black had a messed up leg, you know, and then AJ was, you know, hitting it with the kendo stick and the chair. That way he couldn't utilize the Black Mass. But in return, you know, Black was working on AJ's leg too. You know, just to, I guess, work on it. Wasn't really too sure why he was working on AJ's leg. Maybe so AJ wouldn't be able to springboard for the forearm. That's why. So they're working each other's legs. You know, they brought some tables into the mix. Just, I don't know, like, the match was fine and it wasn't bad. Like, they were like laying their shit in too, but there was just nothing captivating about the match. Like, my attention span wasn't there. Like, I was watching, but my eyes wanted to wander anywhere else but the match, besides a few spots that were happening, you know, here and there. So I don't know, it was one of those weird matches to me. You know, I feel like it went on way too long too. I feel like the match definitely could have been shorter by, like, you know, 5 to 8 minutes, and it probably would have improved the match a little bit. But yeah, they very lightly used the no DQ stipulation. Cool spot with Aleister Black where he did a running double knees, running meteor, I guess you should say, off the announce tables onto AJ Styles through a table he set up on the outside. So that's a pretty cool spot right there. But nothing else really happened. Obviously, OC got involved, ended up taking out Aleister Black, hit the Magic Killer on him, held him up, was holding up for AJ Styles, hit the phenomenal forearm, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and I shit you not, Undertaker got one of the biggest pops I've heard in quite some time. That place went unglued for Undertaker. What a fucking pop he got. Came out, he has Anderson and Gallows, you know, holding them by their throats. Styles goes for the forearm. Taker catches them into a choke slam. Lights go out. Aleister Black hits a fantastic black mass on AJ. AJ sells it like he just got his head chopped off. 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black defeats AJ Styles. Like I said, fine match. Just something just wasn't connecting, and it went on way too long if you ask me. So yeah, it is what it is. And of course, obviously, it's going to be AJ Styles and Undertaker WrestleMania. Would have preferred to be a tag match or a 6-man tag because I just don't think Undertaker can work a singles match anymore. But nonetheless, it's cool to see Undertaker and AJ Styles at WrestleMania, especially for AJ Styles. That's be absolutely awesome. So, yeah, that should hopefully be a good match at WrestleMania. Raw Tag Team Championship match, the Street Profits defending against Seth Rollins and Murphy. This match was good, but it kind of just felt like they were running through the motions. It just kind of felt like a house show match. They weren't really doing anything. It's typical stuff, you know. Street Profits were going back and forth. You know, Angelo Dawkins had a good run. Hot tag to Montez Ford. Montez Ford gets worked on for a long time until he gets the hot tag for Angelo Dawkins, and Dawkins runs roughshod. Looks like, you know, Rollins and Murphy are closing the tag team titles because AOP is getting involved. Then all the Viking Raiders come running down to chase off AOP because they got involved. Then Kevin Owens comes down with popcorn. He's watching the match. So the Rollins is distracted. Angelo Dawkins takes him out with a huge shoulder tackle into the barricade. Murphy's isolated. Street Profits pretty much late. Murphy, Montez Ford with the beautiful frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Street Profits retain the Raw Tag Team Championships. Like, it was good, but just... This is like this was their third match in a week. Like, I'm over seeing Seth Rollins, Murphy, and Street Profits in any type of match, and I just feel like there's really nothing new for them to do. I mean, last Monday in Raw when Street Profits won the tag team titles, that was a great match. That's probably their best match they've had, but I don't know. Like I said, this match kind of felt like a house show. They weren't really doing much. It's kind of just running through the motions, so not really much to talk about. 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Strowman defending against Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Apparently, the stipulation was that if whoever pinned Strowman, that they're the champion. So I thought if Nakamura's team won, that he became champion. But apparently, it's whoever pins Strowman wins the championship. Sami Zayn gets a fantastic promo before the match. And the match starts, and, you know, it's pretty much Strowman beating the shit out of Nakamura and Cesaro. He's throwing them around like they're nothing. You know, Sami Zayn's getting tags when Strowman's down. Punches Strowman a few times. When Strowman gets up, Zayn tags out. So the entire story of the match is Strowman trying to get his hands on Sami Zayn. But then, you know, numbers game catches up. Nakamura to Kinshasa for a near fall. Cesaro tags in, attempts to neutralize it, but Strowman fights out of it. Cesaro just throws Strowman into the post several times. Nakamura runs in, Kinshasas him into the corner. Sami Zayn tags in, hits the suplex, the double suplex, luva kick combination, pins Braun Strowman, and Sami Zayn is the brand new Intercontinental Champion. Very, very happy for Sami Zayn. First off, it took him 3 years, but he finally beat Braun Strowman. And he's finally a champion in WWE. He's never held a main roster championship, and now he finally has the Intercontinental Championship. So congratulations to him. And I thought it was fantastic the fact that Braun Strowman didn't even touch Sami Zayn. It's not that he didn't hit him or anything. He didn't even lay a finger on Sami Zayn. I thought that was excellent storytelling. Obviously, I think it's going to be Strowman versus Zayn at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, which kind of sucks because I'm pretty sure they're just going to have Strowman kill Zayn and squash him for the championship. So that's probably the direction they're going in, but it's cool for Zayn to have his moment, and it's cool that he's champion. So, yeah, I mean, the match itself is just whatever. Nothing really happened. Like I said, it's pretty much Strowman throwing Nakamura and Cesaro around while, you know, Zayn kind of mocked him when he finally got in the match, but not much to it besides that. And then, of course, go to the main event, which was the #1 contenders at Elimination Chamber match. Of course, the winner facing Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 36. The match started off with Natalya and Ruby Riott. Why, I don't know. I feel like we've seen those two go at it a million times in the past, so whatever. They go at it for a good little bit. Sarah Logan is in next. She hits a beautiful running knees, and Natalya flies into one of the pods, so that was great. So that's probably the only noteworthy spot at that point. Ruby Riott eats a power bomb onto the outside, which looked very, very painful the way she landed too, by the way. So those are probably the biggest spots at that point. And then Shayna Baszler comes in number 4, immediately chokes out Sarah Logan, chokes out Ruby Riott, and then beats down Natalya for a little bit and chokes her out. So within a span of like 2 minutes, Shayna Baszler eliminates the entire field. So she's just walking around the ring, waiting for whoever else to come in. Liv Morgan's next, and then Shayna Baszler pretty much just throws her around. God, man, Liv Morgan, man, she had her head crushed into the chamber and into the pod, and the way she took both those bumps, god damn, those had to be painful. So Shayna Baszler just destroys Liv Morgan, and then of course Asuka's the last person, and they go at it for a few minutes. They have some back and forth stuff, but ultimately Shayna Baszler gets the better of Asuka. Asuka passes out, and or the referee calls it off. He just calls it off, and Shayna Baszler is your number one contender for Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. I know this match got some mixed reactions. I know some people hated it because it was boring just because of the way it's booked. But honestly, they booked it probably the best way they possibly could have. You know, my personal way I would have done it, I would have had Shayna start it, but this would have been extremely boring. People would have fucking hated this, and honestly, I probably would have too. I would have had Shayna be in it and just choke every person out that came out. I mean, she did end up doing that. She did choke out every single person. She got every elimination, but I don't know. I think the way they booked it was better than my way I would have done it. But yeah, they made Shayna look dominant, which is exactly what they should do. They should make her look like a legit threat. Having her go out there and just kill every single person without any issues was the perfect way to do it. So obviously Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36. You know, it's one of those matches to me where I'll wait to see how the match is before I even say I'm excited for it. Because honestly, with the poor performance they kind of had together at Survivor Series, it kind of just killed my mood to see the match. And I don't know, it's something that I'll have to see it before I can really, you know, say if I care for it or not. So Becky, Shayna, WrestleMania, it's going down. And that is Elimination Chamber. Like I said, I thought it was an okay to fun show. Started off really good, then just kind of went downhill. Nothing was really terrible, but nothing, I mean, like the second half that, you know, went downhill, nothing was terrible at all. Like none of it was not watchable. But just none of it was really that good either. So that's kind of how I viewed it. But like I said, okay to fun show, okay to good show. It was still fun though. I enjoyed it. You know, I had a good time for the most part. Sets up WrestleMania. Obviously, WrestleMania is in 4 weeks, so kind of unbelievable that WrestleMania is around the corner. I didn't expect it to come up so quickly, but it's finally here. Got some big matches. You know, obviously Randy Orton Edge is gonna be added to it as well. So WrestleMania is gonna be pretty stacked this year. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoyed my review for Elimination Chamber. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, the next time, I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching the video.